Leiden, nobody had on bright colored tennis shoes.
Okay.
And I had brought a pair with me because I've just brought comfortable shoes with me
Okay.
because I have to walk a lot on this trip. So I didn't bring heels. I usually teach in heels and things.
Okay.
But anyway, and so I brought one bright pair of tennis shoes because they're really comfortable.
Okay.
But I didn't wear them in the Netherlands because I just thought people will turn around and stare at my shoes.
Yeah.
But I took a week off, and my husband and I were in Prague last week, and everyone was wearing bright colored shoes. So I did that in Prague, and
Okay.
it seems like there's some here too.
Okay.
So
Yes,
you know, you
actually-
just sort of notice those differences even
Okay.
in cities that are relatively close to one another.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
So yeah. So there are some outliers, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
as well. So geographical proximity doesn't seem to be
Yeah.
always the case.
The case,
The
yeah.
case.
Well, and even in the U.S., there will be differences among, you know, adolescents between, you know, one high school and another high school, or one, you know what I mean? Just
Yes.
something they're doing in
Yes.
one high school
Yes.
and something they're
Yes.
doing in another one. Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else that I have to ask. I think we've covered a lot of it. Because you think a lot about what you wear. Sometimes I have to kind of pull teeth, like
Okay,
people will
yes,
sort of
yes.
say, I don't
Yeah.
think about what I wear, and I've got to reach
Mm-hmm.
it. But it seems like you've when you go out socially
Mm-hmm.
on a, you know, when say you and your wife are going out to dinner, not for a special occasion, but just out to dinner with friends on a weekend, what will you tend to wear?
Maybe a shirt without a tie, or have it tucked in with a belt, or even outside, but a really nice shirt casual with some jeans, shoes, basically without the jacket, or sometimes with a jacket if we go to a restaurant, a nice restaurant in the evening. So I will
So you're more likely to wear jeans on that kind of social
like
occasion.
that without the tie, let's say. I will take out the tie.
Do you ever wear trainers out for a social event, or?
Trainers for a social event, I wouldn't say exactly trainers, but some casual shoes, like some Ralph Lauren shoes. I also like Ralph Lauren. I shop a lot.
You like a lot of American designers.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts you have about it? Because you're clearly someone who thinks a lot about impressions and so
Yes.
forth.
Yes. I always like to follow the trend, but also to adjust my kind of perception of how. Even though, so I'm not I follow closely what's happening with fashion and so on, but of course I adjust it to my own, let's say, style, trying to.
What works? Oh, I know one other thing I didn't ask you. What would you consider inappropriate for women to wear to teach?
Inappropriate. Well, something like a short
Real
skirt,
short skirt.
or something sleeveless, something like shirt, something like. But it depends also if
That shows a lot of skin.
yes, or being inappropriate, you know.
Why would you find that inappropriate?
Because also the same applies for men. I mean, I wouldn't like somebody to come with a sleeveless
top.
so you're not going to the gym or somewhere. So yeah, so because I think we have to focus more on delivering something and not something, try to give wrong impressions. So that will lead to misunderstandings. Also, we don't also like our students to come in a way that might give wrong signals.
Uh-huh. So what would in the sense that it would be giving a sexual signal?
Probably if you're coming like you're very short, scared, or inappropriate, or that, it might give wrong impressions and can lead to
Just being distracting?
being distracting for other students. So
Okay.
so I believe that they have to be role models, the instructors at least, but also students have to be not in a kind of offensive way dressing in different aspects. But definitely instructors need to be more properly dressed and not something that will give
them a wrong signal.
Signal or something.
I know something that has often been talked about at Webster, both at the sites, and I hear this from students that study abroad, is that a lot of the American students that are studying abroad don't have nearly as much money as, say, the students here that are from Eastern Europe and so forth, and that some of that is manifested in clothing in the classroom, that some of the students that are from Eastern Europe have a lot of designer labels and things, and the American students tend to not have those kind of things. Is that something you've noticed in your classrooms?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't matter, at least from my own perspective, students to have designer or non-designer clothes as soon as they are appropriate,
Nicely dressed.
Nicely dressed. It doesn't have to be a brand name, a designer's name. It can be a jeans, a normal jeans. It can be an expensive jeans. It's a jeans in the end of the day. So, the difference is as long as it's appropriate, not full of holes,
Right.
So
dirty and so forth.
Yeah. I don't see
any big difference.
Any big difference at all, yes. Yeah. So it can be a suit, it can be a cheap suit. And again, I'm not from Zara, let's say, that can offer. But Zara follows, actually, it's one of the smartest companies because it's way in front, goes into those fashion shows, and they try to...
Same with Topshop.
Yes, and they try to make all their brand and the clothing, and they have their retailer shops is very close or located to where they're manufactured. So the logistics is very, very fast from making to being on.
I don't know, a lot of companies do that now, and then they turn the clothes over about every month or so, and because I think H&M does it.
Yes.
It used to be years ago, you'd see things on the runway, and then maybe a year and a half later you'd see it in stores.
Exactly.
And now it's
you see
instantaneous.
2 weeks, or instantly.
It also used to be the case that you'd see trends in Europe, and then maybe a year or two later you'd see them in the United States.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, sometimes vice versa. Though I always think of Europeans as being more stylish than Americans. But but that's true. Some of the things like hip-hop culture and the trainers and stuff come from America. But now it seems to be much more simultaneous.
I'm on an interview.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut into your time. So, and I think, a lot of that fast fashion, happens simultaneously where people, you don't, there used to be bigger differences, say, shows you how old I am, when you'd come to Europe in the 1980s, you'd see a lot more differences, but now it's sort of like, when you go to main tourist areas and there are people from all over the world, they're all dressed very similarly. Which is kind of interesting.
Yes.
it's kind of good. It's kind of bad. It's kind of sad in a way not to see some of those differences, but
Yeah, that's true.
on the other hand, you never feel like you're dressed inappropriately either.
True. There are yeah
So.
pros and cons. You know,
Right.
yeah.
So anyway, okay. Well, thank you very much. And
Thank
so
you.
now, do you want me to send you a copy of the recording?
Please.
Okay, and you'll listen
Please.
to